youtube.com/RaidersReport, the #1 Raiders channel here on YouTube. Make sure you guys are always interacting with me at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you want to know where I got my hat, it's at Only One Nation. Check them out on IG and Twitter. I can maybe send you guys a link, but that's two Chucky heads. People are talking. Also, speaking of people are talking, I got this question the other day on Twitter, and I wish I remember who sent it to me. So if you remember who sent it to me, tweet at me. That way I know. He asked me, is Calvin Johnson returning? So if you don't know the whole story on Calvin Johnson, he retired from the NFL in 2015, and essentially he said that he would return to the NFL if the Lions paid back his $1 million bonus, okay? So they made him pay back a $1 million bonus back when, and Johnson said the only way to get me back is to put that money back in my pocket. So then this guy came and said, oh, well, the Raiders, Derek Carr, Calvin Johnson, Raiders, they're connected. So Megatron did say that he wanted to play with Derek Carr back in 2017. That's back in 2017, and I don't think Calvin Johnson's going to come back to the Raiders. And I would make the argument that you could say that Calvin Johnson could be the most physically gifted wide receiver ever. I mean, you talk about height, you talk about speed. Calvin Johnson did a lot of incredible things. So just imagine this depth chart. Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams, and then Calvin Johnson, all lining up for Derek Carr. I mean, J.J. Nelson stretching the field. Yeah, Marcel Aitman. Sure, Hunter Renfro's probably going to be end up slot somewhere. But Antonio Brown, Tyrell Williams, Calvin Johnson, come on. If that's not one of the most entertaining wide receiver depth charts you've ever seen, I don't know what I have to do here on the show. So I'm going to ask everyone right now, Tyrell Williams or Calvin Johnson, who's the better wide receiver right now? I want you to type TW for Tyrell Williams or CJ for Calvin Johnson. Better wide receiver right now. So now you got to think, all right? Calvin hasn't played since 2015. So who's the better wide receiver right now? TW for Tyrell Williams or CJ for Calvin Johnson? If you type MR for Mitchell Renz, I'd be all about it. Make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/RaidersReport, the #1 Raiders channel here on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your family, spread the word, because there is only one nation, and we need to continue to grow the nation, especially on YouTube. youtube.com/RaidersReport. Let's get into some more questions now here on our live Q&A. This one's from Gary Gonzalez. Gary, thank you for using hashtag Raiders. And if you want to get on the show, make sure you use hashtag Raiders in the comments section. Do you think Marquel Lee will break out since he is wearing the number 52, or is 52 just a number? Well, 52 is actually, in fact, just a number, in case you're wondering that. But Marquel Lee's also a player I've talked about here on the show about being a potential breakout player. So Marquel Lee last year played at 250 pounds. This year he's down to 238. The reason why he's down to 238 is because Paul Gunther was like, Marquel, you want to succeed in the AFC West, the division with the best quarterbacks? You want to succeed in the NFL in today's game? You need to be able to cover the pass. So last year he really struggled last year against the pass. So the thought is that he'd be able to drop some weight and then be able to cover wide receivers, tight ends, running backs a little bit better. Do I think Marquel Lee could have a better year, a breakout year? Fingers crossed. The fact that he's dropping the weight and he's doing the right things, I think that's ultimately a really, really good sign. But if you guys want to weigh in on this one as well, I wouldn't be upset about it whatsoever. Ooh, look at this. I see a nice little super chat. If you guys want to super chat, it's an easier way to get on the show. How many records does DC need to break to stay on the team? 2 of the 4 possible this year, or what stats will he need? I honestly think Derek Carr could break all 4 stats that I talked about on my last episode. So if you missed my last show that I did on Derek Carr, I said that he could break 4 records. The passing career, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and some other stat that obviously I just don't remember. So watch the video. The only thing that matters this year for Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders is W's. You could put up as many stats as you want. Heck, Derek Carr had a career year in yards last year. How many of you care? None of you. You know why? Because the Raiders went 4-12. If the Raiders make the playoffs this year, Derek's staying. Guaranteed. If they go 9-7 and it's close, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I'm going to want to keep around. When you add as much talent as what the Raiders did on offense this year, the only stat that matters is a W. That's it. So Dylan sends me career yards, touchdowns, single season yards, and single season touchdowns. Go give Dylan a follow on Twitter at DTip, but don't Google it. I'm telling you, don't Google it. All right, this one's from Big Hip on Music and Country Music We Trust. That's a mouthful. So is DTip. True or false? 4 rookies start. Where? Offense? Probably not. Defense? Better chance. On defense, Cleveland, Abram. I guess I'm going to go false. All right. False. True or false? So what do you guys think? Type T for true. Type F for false. Maybe shout. What am I shouting here? Okay. Bunch of super chats. Make sure you guys are super chatting. Also, I read what people send me here in the inners of Chat Sports. All right, Bobby Millette. What you got for me, my man? When do they announce who will be on Hard Knocks? So I actually heard something the other day that apparently the Lions are the front runner to be on Hard Knocks. And if the Lions are on Hard Knocks, out of all the teams that have the possibility, Hard Knocks is failing. They should just cancel the show. I mean, if the Oakland Raiders aren't on Hard Knocks in 2019, I don't know what the NFL, I don't know what HBO is doing. Like, the Oakland Raiders are by far the most entertaining team. Vontaze Burfict, Richie Incognito. Like, what more do you need? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. But, Bobby, when do they announce it? It's normally already announced, but apparently since this is the 100th year of the NFL, which I don't know who's doing the math on that one, they're trying to wait a little bit, so hopefully it's before this season starts. But at this point, man, I got no idea. All right, I got a little bit of a favor to ask. Tag me in your IG story watching the Raiders Report, and I'm going to share it, okay? So I want you guys to take a screenshot whenever you feel like doing it throughout the entire show. If you want to do it now, probably would make the most sense personally. Tag me in it on IG at Mitchell Renz 365, and I will share 100% of everyone who tags me in it. Can you do that? Ready? Cheers to y'all. And cheers to everyone who subscribes to the Oakland Raiders Report here on YouTube, youtube.com/Raiders Report. Make sure you guys are always interacting with me on IG and on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. And I get it. There's a lot of questions right here on YouTube and on Facebook, and I'm not going to be able to get to them all. So if I miss your question, hit me up at Mitchell Renz 365. Let's get into some more YouTube questions from Joseph Mendoza. Which Raiders defense do you think is better, 2016 or 2019? I'm going to go with 2016 because that defense at least got us to the playoffs. Like, I understand Derek was great, but that defense doesn't get talked about, I think, nearly enough. And when I say that, it's because Derek didn't even throw for 4,000 yards. Sure, he was a lot more efficient, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, but that defense actually played pretty well. So I haven't seen the 2019 defense yet, and the Raiders made a lot of improvements on defense, but we were also really bad last year. I mean, we were ranked dead last in terms of points given up, so the improvements are there, and I think the Raiders defense is young, and there's a lot of upside, but I'll probably still take the 2016 defense. I mean, this might hurt your ears, but Khalil Mack, he's pretty good. Oh, another super chat from my man Blake. Blake, much appreciated. Hashtag Raiders. Mitch, that hat looks too big for your head. To be honest, guys, I don't really wear a lot of hats. It's also over my headpiece right now, but if you guys like the hat, I might be able to hook you up with some. So slide in my DMs if you like the hat. I can tell you maybe how to get one. What do you guys think over at Only One Nation? Think maybe hook some people up with some hats? Only if I get some money out of it. James Moneygold, who will be starting at linebackers, and will they last the season? Well, James, if I had to guess, I'm going to go Tyre Whitehead, Brandon Marshall, Vontaze Burfict. Might see Marquel Lee slide in there too. I think those are going to be the top 4, though, linebackers that play the most for the Raiders this season. If you don't like that, comment below who you guys think are going to be the 4 most heavily used Raiders on defense. Linebackers. Gabriel Torres, words as I can't think. Do you think Carr, like me, Do you think Carr, like me, that with any early season success, Carr will get his confidence back and have an MVP season? Are you saying your confidence is down? I'm not really sure. I'm hoping Derek Carr gets his confidence back. I really do. I think confidence is a thing that we don't talk about nearly enough. And I think it's kind of been drained out of him ever since he got hit in 2016. Ever since that injury, he's been a little bit skittish. But Gabriel, if you need confidence, if you need help with the ladies, I know a guy who can help you. It's definitely not Jimmy. It's his Twitter handle's at DTip. D_tip. This guy, he tips. Lion Ball, speaking of tips, Mitch, you haven't shouted out to me. Laugh out loud. It's cool. Lion Ball. I mean, right here. You ready for your 10 seconds of fame? Take a screenshot. Tweet it at me. If anybody else wants a shout out, type in S. I might be able to give some shout outs. All right, Julius Smith. Do you think we'll have enough D-line depth for a NASCAR package? All right, so I'll be honest. I hate the term NASCAR package. The only reason why I say it is because the Giants made it popular. And do I think that there's enough depth? No. I don't think there's enough depth yet to be able to just cycle in guys that we're ultimately just really confident in. I just need a defensive line that's better than last year. And last year was really bad, Julius. So to answer your question, no, I don't think it's deep enough for a NASCAR package. Manny Bruce Salvador. Hashtag Space Raiders. If Beast Mode comes back, would he be the starting running back? No. There's a guy named Josh Jacobs who the Raiders drafted 24th overall. Like, I think if Marshawn came back, I don't think he gets more touches than Jalen Richard, because I think Jalen Richard and Josh Jacobs is a better combo than Josh Jacobs and Marshawn Lynch. Chris Warren, fingers crossed. If you guys want to know his weight, DM me. And then Doug Martin's there. Like, I think they brought back Doug Martin for a reason, because they didn't want to bring back Marshawn Lynch. So hopefully that answers your question. Speaking of questions, I want you guys to ask me something personal. So I think one of the greatest things that we have here is an awesome relationship where we can share things, and some of the DMs that you guys told me about your personal secrets, I was just like, wow, could not even believe some of the stuff that I saw. So ask me something personal. I will 100% answer it with the utmost honesty. I promise you. So throw it in the comments section. Still use hashtag Raiders, and then producer Alicia, she'll bring some of these up. Anthony, what do we got? Win-loss total will be the same regardless of doing Hard Knocks. I don't really think it matters all that much. I think the Raiders, the least thing that they're worried about is trying to create controversy or trying to create headlines. Like, you don't give a coach 10 years, $100 million if you're worried about that. You don't sign an NFL analyst like Mayock, make you GM. You don't go out and get Antonio Brown. You don't get Vontaze Burfict. You don't get Richie Incognito if you're worried about Hard Knocks. You're worried about creating headlines. The Raiders will be fine. The Raiders have enough players, enough personality to be probably the most entertaining thing on television. Like, I've been thinking about canceling my cable, which I probably would. Should all cancel cable, fire cable. But if Hard Knocks comes on, I might just buy HBO just to watch that, because that'll be hella entertaining. Sin City Raider. If we don't make the playoffs this year, will the Raiders trade Carr and get a quarterback next year? I think if the Raiders don't make the playoffs, I mean, Carr's definitely going to be on the hot seat. I think it's hard not to be. I mean, Carr's never won a playoff game. Sure, he got the Raiders to the playoffs, but he still has never won a playoff game. And what has he done besides 1 year? He's 32-46 in his career. Yeah, he's dealt with a lot, like 4 different. This is his first year where he doesn't have either a new offensive coordinator or a new head coach. I like Derek, but this is the year they put a lot around him. And in the NFL, man, got to show out. Also, Sin City, get a picture. Raider Boy 92. Hey, man, what's going on? I just got another picture from you, so I'll get that one up on IG soon. Any possibility of Trent Brown being moved back to left tackle during the season? Sure, there's a chance. If Colt Miller's bad, there's an absolute chance. Also, injuries happen, which we saw last year. If Colt Miller gets hurt, I think you could definitely see Trent Brown slide back over. There is a part of me, though, that's a little bit worried that the Raiders moved Trent Brown this early, because they already see that maybe he's a little bit overrated. Just saying. Raider Tory. Wait, I gotta do it this way. Okay. Mitch, who is your most loyal watcher? You know what, Raider Tory? Just for your sake, you're my most loyal watcher. And if you're a really loyal watcher, you'll tell all your friends to subscribe, and you'll also take a screenshot, and you're going to tweet this out, and you're going to put it on IG, and we're going to spread the show. Can you do that? Cool. Mr. Robertson 22. All right, what do we got here? Hashtag Raiders. Appreciate it for the hashtag. 4 rookies. Farrell, Trayvon, Isaiah. Heard he's been balling so far. Abram and Josh Jacobs. All right, I think Jacobs is going to start. Yes, I agree with you there. Farrell, yes. Trayvon, I hear, is still battling it out. The only guy who I can say for certain is going to start on defense, Abram, Farrell. But it's the thing, like, Farrell, I think, is going to start, but he's also working with the second team. I'm not confident saying 4 rookies.
Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it.
baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this. I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.